He was fired for showing kindness to a struggling old woman. But the next morning, his former boss watched in shock as a line of luxury cars pulled up, and the truth rolled out with tires that changed everything. The heat was unforgiving that afternoon in Phoenix, and the clanging sounds of wrenches echoed across the busy garage floor. Jason Miller, 30, a soft-spoken but skilled mechanic, wiped sweat from his brow as he helped his third customer of the day. He was used to tough shifts, short lunches, and long hours, but he never minded. He liked helping people. That's when she walked in. Mrs. Eleanor Gray, 76, slowly wheeled in a faded, squeaky mobility scooter. Her hat was crooked, and her eyes tired, but her voice was warm. "Sorry to bother, son. My scooter's making a noise. I can't get up the hill near my apartment without it stalling." Jason knelt down to take a look, already spotting the worn motor brushes and a loose battery connector. "You didn't schedule anything?" his manager barked from the front desk. "No, I just thought, then she'll need to come back." Jason looked at Eleanor's trembling hands, then back at the manager. "I'll take a quick look. 5 minutes, max." "Not your call," the manager snapped. "And if you touch it, you're done here." Jason hesitated, then looked Eleanor in the eye. "I'll fix it." 20 minutes later, her scooter purred like new. She smiled, eyes glassy. "You remind me of my son," she whispered. "He was the only one who stopped for people too." Jason smiled gently, helping her into the seat. She rolled out, waving. "Thank you, Jason. You'll go far one day, I know it." But moments later, the garage manager stormed in. "Pack your tools, you're finished." Jason stood stunned. "You're firing me? For helping her?" "We're not a charity," the manager snapped. "You disobeyed orders." And just like that, he lost everything. But what none of them knew was that Eleanor's story didn't end at the garage door, and Jason's act of kindness was just getting started. The next morning, the garage opened as usual. Oil-slick floors, grumbling staff, and the same manager barking orders at anyone within earshot. Jason wasn't there. His toolbox sat in the corner, untouched. Word of his firing had spread fast, but most of the mechanics just shrugged. That's how things worked under this boss. No heart, all business. Then, around 9 a.m., someone shouted, "What's with all the black cars?" Engines hummed. Tires whispered across asphalt. A convoy of sleek, luxury vehicles pulled into the parking lot, 7 in total. High-end brands: Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Mercedes-Maybach. Everyone dropped their tools. From the first car, a sharply dressed man stepped out, checking his watch. From the second, a security guard. From the third, Mrs. Eleanor Gray. But now her faded shawl had been replaced with a cashmere coat. Her eyes were hidden behind sunglasses, and her demeanor was composed. Elegant. The manager rushed out, confused. "Ma'am, this is private property." The suited man handed him a card. Charles Gray, chairman, Graytech Industries. Gasps, confusion, and then silence. Eleanor stepped forward. "Yesterday, one of your employees helped me without asking for anything. He didn't know who I was. He just saw someone in need and did the right thing." The manager blinked. "We didn't know." "No," she interrupted. "You didn't care?" "Jason Miller didn't just fix my scooter. He reminded me of my late son. And as of this morning, he's accepted a position as lead technical advisor at Graytech Mobility." The crowd murmured in shock. "He'll be designing safer, more affordable mobility systems for seniors, and making more money in a month than you make all year." The manager tried to speak, but Eleanor raised a hand. "We're also purchasing this garage, effective immediately." "What?" "You'll find the transfer documents and your severance package inside." A driver handed over a sealed envelope. "You may clear your office," she said coldly. "Jason won't be coming back, but the company is his now." The entire staff stared, jaws open, because in one single morning, the janitor they fired had become the boss they never saw coming. That afternoon, Jason stood in the very garage he was kicked out of just a day before. Only now, the keys to the building were in his pocket. He hadn't asked for revenge. He hadn't planned a comeback, but life. And Eleanor Gray had handed him a second chance bigger than anything he'd ever dreamed. "I don't even know what to say," he whispered as Eleanor stood beside him. "Don't say anything," she replied gently. "Just do what you always do. Fix what's broken." He nodded, emotions swelling. "That includes this place," she added, glancing around. "It needs new leadership, not just new paint." Jason didn't fire the entire staff. He knew most of them were just trying to survive, like he had. Instead, he called a meeting. The crew gathered, nervous, unsure what to expect. Jason stood before them, wearing the same uniform as before, but this time, with something more powerful than a name tag. Respect. "I'm not here to rub anything in," he said. "I know what it's like to be overlooked. I've cleaned these floors, wiped grease from your shoes, and stayed late without pay." He looked each mechanic in the eye. "That ends today. We're going to rebuild this garage into a place where kindness and skill go hand in hand, where no one gets punished for doing the right thing." Someone clapped. Then another. Then all of them. Even the senior technician, the one who used to joke behind Jason's back, stood up and nodded. "We're with you, boss." The next day, the "closed for renovation" sign went up. But inside, the real change had already begun. New uniforms were ordered. The waiting room got an upgrade. More importantly, Jason created a fund, a free repair program for the elderly and disabled, inspired by Eleanor's scooter. And on the wall near the front desk, he placed a framed plaque. "This shop runs on skill, honesty, and heart." Because sometimes the tools you hold aren't just wrenches and bolts. Sometimes they're integrity, kindness, and the courage to do good when no one's watching. And Jason had all three. 6 months later, the garage once mocked for being just another body shop was now a name whispered with admiration throughout the city. Miller's Garage and Mobility had become more than a business. It had become a symbol. Customers came not just for repairs, but for the way they were treated. Fairly, kindly. Like people instead of invoices, Jason hired 2 more mechanics from a local shelter's job program. He brought in high school interns who wanted to learn the trade. He taught them not only about engines, but about integrity. One afternoon, a local reporter stopped by for a story. "What changed your life?" she asked, voice warm. Jason didn't hesitate. "A woman no one paid attention to, until she turned out to be the one with all the power." He smiled softly. "But the truth is, she didn't change my life. She gave me the chance to show what I was already capable of." Eleanor continued to visit, often showing up unannounced with home-baked cookies and questions about new electric scooter models. She watched with pride as Jason spoke to engineers, sketched designs, and trained the next generation. "You're building more than engines," she once said. "You're building dignity." Jason nodded. "Thanks to you," she shook her head. "No. Thanks to you, for never letting kindness be your weakness." At the next city gala, Jason received the Community Builder Award, but instead of taking the credit, he brought Eleanor on stage. "This woman reminded me that no good deed goes unseen forever, and that sometimes getting fired is just the universe clearing your schedule for something bigger." The crowd rose in applause, and outside the ballroom, parked under a soft glow of string lights, sat Eleanor's scooter, still polished, still humming. But now, signed discreetly on the back in gold paint to the mechanic who fixed more than my wheels, he fixed the way I saw the world.